Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an amazing life. I'm going to supply those tools for you to manifest anything. If you go to landriaonkka.com, you're going to see all kinds of ways for you to practice and reprogram all of the density of this planet. Now today I'm going to talk about the third party, the middleman between what you desire and your manifesting. All right, so I'm getting ready. I've tried to meditate 3 times, and I keep coming up with these ideas. I'm getting downloads. I'm sitting in front of my fireplace, and I realized that we are all programmed, pretty much all of us are programmed, to believe that there's something separate from us that we're always talking to. That there's a God that's separate from us, that there's something we have to ask for. Now, you've heard of ask and receive. I believe in giving and receiving. I believe when we're giving, we're actually giving to ourselves, to our own energy, and then we experience that. Not that it goes out there and comes back, but we're experiencing that. What you're giving, you're immediately receiving. I give love, I am receiving love. And it's all one thing happening. I know there's no delay in anything. Everything is one thing happening because we are one energy. Okay, that's a little mind-blowing, all right? Especially since there's no such thing as time or anything on the other side. What I want to share with you is that so often the reason why we lose faith or cannot manifest or don't manifest the things that we desire is because we are separating ourselves from the very thing that we desire, because we believe that somehow there is a delay between here and there. All right, so I ask for this, it goes out there, and maybe it will or won't come back, and so we have this thing in our head that, you know, there is this whole system out there that decides, or, you know, it's trying to figure out whether we deserve it or not, whatever else you decide, you know, how it works. And that's not how it works at all. And so I'm going to go back to law of attraction, why it doesn't work. Law of attraction is quantum physics. It's all the same thing. Why I don't use it as very often is because it is a word that denotes that you must attract something to you, when I believe you are the very thing you're thinking of. So if you believe you're having to attract it, then you think it's something separate that has to come to you. So I don't believe that. It's not separate. It's already there. It's a probability it exists. You are part of that energy. It's like you're a drop in the ocean. You cannot be separate when you're a drop in the ocean. We're all drops in the ocean. We're all one. Of course, if you took one little section of the ocean, you pulled it out, there would be water that you've separated from the ocean. But as soon as you put it back in, it is affected by everything, okay? So there's no lines. There are no lines between you and anything else. Where do you end and something else begins? There's no defined line. It's a blur of energy. It's concentrations of energy. Now, gosh, it's probably a couple years ago, I drew a diagram of dots. And I said, here is how the universe works. It's just all dots. And then you'll see concentrations of dots, but they're still all dots, and there's still nothing between these dots and those dots, just they're concentrations of dots, right? Concentrations. And so the more dense we are, the more concentrated those dots become, and you get this, you know, this human thing going on here, right? Which is what we chose. It's an experience. We're choosing to come into this density. The more we ascend, the higher our frequency goes. The higher our frequency goes, the less dense we become. We actually become light beings, and we are less dense little concentrations here, because we're opening up. When we go into the other dimensions, we're opening up to everything. So we're blended with everything even more. So that's why things manifest so quickly when you go into higher frequency. We're opening up to all of it. Okay, when you're dense, you're saying, I'm separate, and that's out there. I have to attract that in. You don't attract anything. Your observation changes reality. Boom! That's it. Look, it's done. There's no delay in that. There's no, I look and then it happens. It's boom. Separate photons, guess what? Whenever you do this one reacts exactly at the same time as if it was still connected, not separated. So you can split these things, babies, up 1,000,000 times. It's not going to matter. They are never going to lose separation from each other, and that's us. So that thing you desire is you. It is just, imagine just all dots, and that concentration over here of dots over here, and your concentration of dots over here, and you're just now focused on these dots, and now all of a sudden you're entangled. This is quantum physics. You're entangled. So it's not, I will attract this over here. If I look at it, come to me, come to me. No, it's all, okay, I'm looking, and then it's aware of you looking because it is you. I'm aware of my hand over here. And if I look at it, it actually changes. Reality changes as soon as I look at it. It becomes real. It's beyond our mind. It's beyond human comprehension. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm sure you grasp the idea of quantum physics, where everything is just all one connected energy in different concentrations of vibrations. That's what the material world is. And within it is a frequency. So a rock would be a lower vibration, and it would be a lower frequency, right? It's slower. So we get to choose our frequency, because we have free will, and we came in different forms where we actually play things out, unlike a tree that grows and just experiences being a beautiful, perfect, super high frequency tree, right? It's a completely different composure to us. Still our energy, everything's the same thing, but it's made up of different vibrations. So what are we going to do with this? When you are praying or you're meditating and we're thinking of this and that, we're still thinking there's something out there that I have to convince, or if I do it the right way, it's going to happen. Don't you? We all do it, right? I still have it in my head that there's, some God up there that I'm talking to, when that's really not what's going on at all. It is, the divine is in me. It is all one thing. It's because we're human beings, we always imagine everything is some angel or, guide or God, or right? We separate it all, and then we're talking to all these things. We're not. We're actually the very thing we're speaking to. So you don't have to go try and figure it out, because we can't. And even if we know it, we're still not wrapping our head around it. But I want you to know, when you're meditating or praying, you're actually connecting to yourself. And when you let go, this is why we go to the dark night of the soul. When you let go of trying to control it, of trying to control that out there, you have given up completely, and you're now your divine self. That's what's happening. You're letting go. That ego drops down, and you are now connected to the energy of which you are, and there's no barrier between you and it anymore. That's what's going on. That's why people go in awakened states, because they're not worried anymore, because the ego has let go in that density of separation, that there's something out there not happening, or I want this, and like that. And that's where the suffering comes on, in, right? Oh, and I need this, and I'm like, and that's not, why is that happening? And then, my life and my parents and blah, 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 blah. We're so full of crap, aren't we? We really are. Because when you go in awakened state, you look at that and you're, oh, geez. Wow, I had a story going on there. And that's that separation of that's out there and this is separate from me and it shouldn't be happening. The ego lets go. And all of a sudden you are connecting to the one. You are the one. You're not a separate one, and this is all now open up. You are the open space. You are the gateway. It is in you. This body is all part of one energy. It's just part of a density that we have inhabited that is still us. It's just part of what we are showing ourselves as. So you can literally, and this is a technique that I use, this is why I tell people, when I'm in that mode, whoo, don't have a thought. I just did it a couple hours ago. I was on a Zoom call, and I said, I use one Zoom call for a certain group of people. I said, was telling somebody on the call, I said, don't worry about it. It never, it's one in a blue moon does somebody ever connect into the call while I'm talking to somebody else. Do you know somebody like within 60 seconds, I think it was like a minute, got on the call with us. A third party did, and I had to take him out of the meeting. Okay, what? Really? I manifested it. I was talking about it. So when there's no barrier, when you actually realize there's no separation, there's no barrier, and that no thoughts are going to pull something into you, you just know it, you connect to it, you see it, you observe it. It is, and now it is real for you. I imagine something in my head, I envision it. It is now real for me. I don't question it. It must manifest. When there's thoughts or separation, you're disconnecting from that, and that's why it's not showing up. There's nothing separate from you. I am the very thing that I desire. That's it. Nothing else to think about. Nobody's judging. Nobody's going to grant it. There's no energy field out here that's going, oh, okay, she said enough mantras. Yes, now we'll do it. No, because that's something separate. You're looking at it, it's reacting. So if you're looking at it and not believing or thinking it's separate, it may or may not show up, then that's exactly what's happening. It may or may not show up. This takes mastering. If you want to work with me one-on-one, take one of my courses or my webinars, go to LandriaOnkka.com. Inspiration with Landria is the code for the course Breakthrough Fear, and you get 1 year. I teach you how to get past that. We actually go into the imagination, where we envision all kinds of things. What does that do? You're practicing going into this unreal world that's very real. You're practicing. That's what the dream state is. And we go into that field because we want to condition ourselves that there are no limits to what we do. And just because physically we have certain rules here so that we can play out this scenario, doesn't mean that that's what really exists ultimately. Because, we can levitate. There's all kinds of things we could do. All right, so you're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. When you know that the very thing that you envision is a shared energy, and there's no thought between you and it, because it doesn't judge. It is you. It's not judging. Unless you're judging, unless you think you don't deserve it, then it thinks you don't deserve it, because it's you. It's like moving your fingers, right? I can talk to you and move my fingers at the same time. It is me. It appears completely separate, but I'm communicating even though I'm talking to you. I'm totally communicating. I can do whatever I want with my fingers, right? Be very conscious of it and still not lose my concentration here. That's what's going on out there. So if I have any thought at all, believing that this is something separate, that I'm like concentrating to move the... That's silly. It's my hand. It's your manifestation. Or not. What are you doing? What's your message? I know, this is cray-cray stuff, right? We're getting there. We're getting there. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Maybe now I can go back to my meditation. By the way, promoting always tools to learn how to create an online business. This is a free workshop if you want to go in. Take it seriously, because things are changing at lightning speed. I'm seeing so many things change, even with our communications platforms out there. YouTube and Instagram, get ready. There are other things coming out. I'm actually going to be participating in some of them that are going to open up new gateways and roads for so many people to communicate with this globe and get amazing messages out. And you can learn all of this, all right? This is school. You go back to school. It's amazing. It's got a spiritually minded community and all the support you could ever desire. And by the way, you learn the tech stuff. You don't have to know tech stuff to take it. That's what they teach you, is you can just start from scratch. All right? This is a new world. an amazing new earth. Get excited. But we have to be steadfast. We have got to stay on that path of the 5th dimension, lest we get dragged back into the 3rd dimension, and who knows what's going to happen to that planet. I'm not going to be on it. I'll see you later. Blessings, my friend. Namaste.